the intro. Or,
I
hey,
like the cup, man.
everybody.
The cup real nice.
What we say?
I like your cup. I gotta give me a taboo cup. Every time you pick a cup
Oh,
up.
this came from the sister April Mahoney has a show called On the Edge. So I did her podcast. It was a cooking podcast thing, and I was the #1 podcast. So she sent me, this is her logo, and on the back is this. So now I was like, I got to get some mugs. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Troy
Nice.
Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. And today I have the real privilege of, you get but so many. You have a lot of acquaintances and friends, and this is. I don't know if guys can guys say BFF. I don't know if that's what we this would be my best friend forever. Author, entrepreneur, businessman, the creator of What I Do Is Taboo, and the inspiration and source of the Taboo Talk tour. It turned into the Love Tour, Taboo Talk. This is my partner. Give it up for Yonder.
I'm gonna clap for myself.
That's what. So good. I had to jump back, kiss myself.
Exactly. How you doing today, man?
Waited for the help. He's the reason I was rushing and I couldn't get my tie. I had to, you get those slick, nowadays they have the slim fit shirts to go with the slim fit suit, and my double Windsor wasn't acting right. I said, forget it. I ain't gonna be as clean as Yonder. This brother remind me of my father. My father owned one pair of tennis that he used to wash clothes in, but usually he's still sliding on slippery Earls to wash the car. Yonder, I don't know if you own a pair of sneakers.
I actually do. I walk in them. That's my morning walk. Right.
Yes, indeed. So what's going on, man? How have you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Dealing with this corona stuff, man. But I'm good. That just keeps me right, man. I'm good. The family's good. Everybody good.
And I don't know. And well, we and Meet the Interview. We jump right in, but y'all prepare yourselves because me and Yonder, when we go on tour together, we're not doing Tony Robbins 10 hours a day, but our average show is about 4 hours.
About 4 hours.
We used to talking.
And they used to ask for more. We do 4 hours, they ask for more. They don't want to leave. They there before we get there, they there we leave. Right.
That's right. And we are rebooting for 2020, some amazing things. Of course, technology and everything is going on, but we got some amazing things ahead. And but let's get right into it. Where are you originally from? For the folks that don't know.
I'm originally from Washington, D.C., Southeast D.C., born and raised.
Born and raised. You said Berry Farms?
Berry Farms, yes.
So, what was your... All right, one of the things I love about you is that you hate saying it as a cultural thing because there's a lot of people to read. My daughter's... I got something in my phone.
You a fool.
My daughter's well read. You know what I'm saying? My daughter has read I don't know how many books. But you are one of those people, they talk about like Warren Buffett and people like that. Do you still read like 3 and 4 newspapers a day and all that?
I don't read as many newspapers now, but I read online everything. And I'm always actually I'm laughing when I said during the corona, I'm going to reread every book I have in the house.
Reread. So it's like I have a bookshelf. Like I have a bookshelf and I have a lot of books on it I haven't read. You probably read all the books on your bookshelf.
Yes. At least once, sometimes twice.
So, and a lot of people, because I know a lot of people are talking, everybody wants to write a book. You helped me initiate. You were the one, even though I work with authors, amazing authors like D. Blackman, and D. Blackman was my first author. You were the second author I worked with. One of the things I liked, he was like, well, I love what you're doing with D. Blackman. Whatever y'all haven't done yet, I want to do. And it took it to a whole nother level. But you also gave me an opportunity to write in your short story. Now, your book is erotic fiction. For those who don't know erotic fiction, especially African-American erotic fiction, is like authors like Zane and Elin Harris. I guess you can call it's just real. Elin Harris was just more real where he was coming from with the whole life scenarios.
He was just doing it from another aspect. He was erotic. He just did it from another aspect.
Just another aspect, right? With homosexuality and just the whole flow. But we took a lot of our initial tour piece and the way we set it up. A lot of the format of going to the barbershops, the salons, we got from Elan.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he sold 10,000 books from his trunk. Rest in peace, Elan Harris. But you're not, you're in the What I Do is Taboo series, which ended up being I think, is it 9 books or 10 books?
It's a 7-book series. We have 5 out right now.
Seven books, right? And the second series is something else. So just to think about that, you did 5 books of erotic series, but you read everything. So how did erotic fiction become the thing that drew you in, or you leaned towards?
Okay, actually, it really wasn't what I leaned towards. It was what I wrote best. Actually, when I first started writing, I read some Zane like everybody else did. I was on a commuter bus going to my job at downtown DC, and I was reading Perfect Driven Life by Rick Warren, and it's called 40-day thing. And actually, I read it the wrong way. You're supposed to read it every day. You're supposed to read 1 page and decide how you're gonna do this. I read all 40 pages in probably 1 day. All 40 things to do in 1 day. And I decided I want to be author right there on the commuter bus. And as I decided I want to be an author at the commuter bus, I started writing every day. I wrote my first book actually in 40 days.
And here's the thing, and I like your technique, because a lot of people, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna write. And I tell people all the time, the hardest thing is putting pen to pad or fingers to the typewriter or the keyboard. I think it was the spiral memo pads.
I still write that.
And you said, Troy, I know if I fill up 6 of these, I'll have my book.
Yep.
And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, if I'm going somewhere, I just write. And you write like great writers teach people to write. If you've ever seen the movie Finding Forrester, he mentioned something in there. He said, if you're a writer, you're gonna write. It's just like Whoopi Goldberg and Sister Act. She's like, if all you do when you wake up and think about writing, then baby, you're a writer. You just gotta do it.
That's so. Right.
Your methodology is cool for most people, because she was like, look, if I can get an editor, somebody that types to type it, let me just write it. Let me get it out of me. And you were turning around books so fast, and right. Thank God we had a place to do them. So that was what you wrote the best, and you took it from your life experience and things like different things you went through. And I remember initially when we talked, you were just, like I said, it was my e-blast. And I tell people right now, we used to be able to remember people by their emails. That's how many e-blasts we were sending out.
Exactly, right.
And you've always had a certain, even in this pandemic, for those of you, I never really try to date them. I try to keep the interviews generic, but for those of you who are just, or seeing this in a timely manner, it's May 2020. So as you know, pandemic, COVID-19, all this stuff is going on around the world. But no matter what we went through, what tour-wise, anything in life, you always kept I hate to say positive outlook, but that's what it is, a positive outlook. You've always been the same person. You've always been cheery, joke. It reminds me a lot of my father. Only difference with my father is that on the inside, it was like the whole tears of the clown thing, Right. On the inside, he had depression. But how do you keep that outlook? Because most people who don't know your story don't know where you came from and don't know the gist of things. You lost 2 parents. You lost both your parents young. You were young. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you were very close to your mom, but you kept a positive outlook. Where does that come from? Where do you?
First of all, I believe there's a higher power. I believe in God, but right. Even that's the base. But my mother used to always say that, how do you be sad for so long? Her thing was basically, sometimes you're gonna die and you gotta keep on going with life. And as a child, I couldn't stand her saying that. She had a sickness. The child couldn't stand her saying that, because she would always say, when I die. I was like, when you die? People say, it's for instance, Black folks don't think they're gonna die. It's like, if I die. No, you're gonna die. Life
right.
Life still has to go on. You still got to be great, and it just has to keep going. And people don't see it that way. I have always seen life as, this is going to happen. How am I going to take myself from that? Okay, it's going to happen. People are going to die. People are going to get sick. You're gonna lose a job, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna get some money, you're gonna lose some money. Okay, how do we keep going on? You can't get caught up in your own self because life still has to go on. And why not have it going on and be fun, have fun with it? We're too busy holding on to nonsense, from grudges to this to that, to not just have fun. You know, on tour, not just on tour. When you see me, we laugh, we joke, we have a good drink, have something good to eat, and it's no time for crying. I mean, of course, you cry somewhere along the line, and you're depressed sometimes. I mean, 2 minutes, but I just feel like you have to keep on going on. My thought and theory has been for years. I think it was. I think I originally got this from my mother. She said she only had. I've narrowed it down so far. I think if she only had a half hour to be sad, a half hour to be sad, she had to figure out how to get out of that. I broke it down. I got 15 minutes. What we gonna do next? What we gonna do next? I mean, okay, you gonna mourn, but what are we gonna do next? And is it gonna be fun? Can we have some fun in life? People go to life not having fun. I just want to laugh and joke and have a good time all day, every day. And that's just how life has been, and it's been good. I mean, really, I've been through job changes. I mean, I've had some kids. I had some ups and downs. My wife passed away at a young age, and you just gotta keep going and have a good time. I mean, and think about it. We've been on tour for the last 15 years, Troy. Viva kids,
Yes.
Viva death. We've been on tour forever, for 15 years.
We've been through
stuff.
my father passing away, your first wife passing away, and shout out to Tanya, his wife Tanya. She's producing this on all the way in La Plata, DC area where they are now. And when I tell you she on point, everybody needs. She's like, no, we got it. Action! I'm like, wait, we're not recording yet. What are you saying? Action, goddammit!
Bro, I say it all the time. I don't think she even realized her genius. Really, everybody need to talk. I mean, the background stuff she do. I mean, the stuff she do. I just sit there like, look, just tell me where you want me to sit at.
What's funny is that's how it. When we first started the Taboo Talk tour, and I tell people this story. You can see the story on my website, and Rodney just came at a certain time. And I call him Rodney because it's his legal name. But
stop calling people have a name, right?
right. They were like, what is that? Yonder just came at a certain time when it was like, okay, this is what I'm looking to do. How can you help me market and promote? And I was doing marketing.
This came before there was Amazon. There was no Amazon was out. It was just bookstore.
No.
There was no Amazon.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, people were selling online, but Amazon.
Who's on MySpace?
Right. MySpace. Amazon. I think Amazon was around, but we weren't using Amazon like that. You had to go grassroots. They had Barnes and Noble and stuff like that, but a lot of independent authors weren't getting there. A lot of the hot authors that people were like, oh man, they were so amazing and stuff like Black authors, African American. Yeah, you had certain authors that got publishing deals, but it came just the way the music industry is now. It came from them hustling in the streets, selling thousands of books. Yeah. And then people saying, hey, what are they doing over there? Zane sold over 8 million books, probably over 10 million books by now, but she didn't get the pub and she didn't want to be in the limelight. And a lot of authors just wanted to write and get it out. And the ones who hit the street and hustled, they made a living off of it. And Yonder, your background is also you've been working in, it's a number of amazing things. And I have to shine a light on it. And you, like they say, give the flowers to people while they're still alive. And I love flowers and lemons and oranges. But you celebrate me all the time. But I got to celebrate you because he's a little older than me. I'm 45. But he is a big brother to me. I've had a couple. Keno Davis. You and Keno Davis were very instrumental in me keeping my head up and believing in my gifts, but also giving me something to do. A lot of times, and especially coming out of this COVID-19 and the quarantine, I hope everybody put down on paper what it is they want to do. And I pray that you find your squad, your team, your person. Hopefully, it's also your mate, your husband or wife, because we're going to talk about that. Divorce rate's about to go through the roof, but they don't have to. You got to for all those husband and wives that's been stuck together, go online to yonderpresents.com, because on IGTV, I know you guys got to tune into the YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, you're going to get the whole thing. If you get IGTV, go to yonderpresents.com and get this book series to help y'all doggone marriage so y'all don't get divorced as soon as y'all let out. And like, I'm out. You know, but I had to say this because the man you are helps me be a better man. You've never let me fall. I see the way you raise your family, your kids. If you're a friend to somebody, you're a friend. You're helping me. I told my lady last night, I was like, look, Yonder is one of those people. I have phenomenal friends that are helping me be a better person. You know what I'm saying? And you're one of those people, because of your attitude, because of your personality, because you're like, hey man, let's do it. I believe it. Let's do it. Or if it's like, yeah, let's do it, but let's do it in like 3 days. 3 days later, you're like, you ready to do it?
Right.
Set a clock. I need people around me that you can set a clock to, you know, and you like that. You know, you go to bed, take your bubble bath like Reverend Run, the last text. But it's some golden principles that you have in life. And here's the thing. You may not have learned all of them from home, because you told me something recently about your pops. And I say recently because we've known each other for 16, going on 17 years now.
Yeah.
But you told me something I didn't realize. You told me, and you worked for the government. You didn't go to college. You went straight into government work, and you've been working in the government for years. And you told me your pops died at work.
Yes, he did.
And
I'm just saying, I ain't gonna die at work.
And you said, I ain't gonna die at work. And that explained to me a lot of your person. He's like, Troy, look, and you have a job. You made some things happen in the government, but you leave work at work. He leaves work at work so much. Him, and I got to mention Keno Davis. Like I said, my partner, we started Ghost Host Entertainment together. We merged our companies and formed Ghost Host Entertainment, did the newsletter, all the stuff, did a lot of stuff around Baltimore. Because you two, even though y'all didn't really know each other until you all brought it together, y'all both had we could talk on the phone all the way up to your driveway.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm about to go in the house and shut it down. Your family was home, your phone goes off. And you can't get in touch with Yonder until the next morning. Where did those family principles come from?
You know what? It's just, you can bring so much at home. And you know what? With all of the modern technology, the cell phone, remember one time you can't get someone until you got to the house. With all the modern technology, I think it's a deterrent to, or messing up a whole lot of relationships, because we got everybody in the bedroom fighting with them. We got internet, we got IG, we got Facebook, we got everybody. You done brought everybody in your house. And you wonder why. Right. If you leave them outside, it's just y'all. Y'all got to deal with y'all. You bringing everybody in the house and the bedroom with you. You bringing everybody with you. If you bring them with you, even if you look on Facebook, I only put out certain things. I don't put out a whole lot of stuff about my family, because I'm not inviting you in my house. You're not my friend. Everybody's not your friend. There are people on Facebook that just follow you. Everybody who trying to get in your circle is not in your circle. Like you said, keep your team tight. My team is in this house. I made my wonderful wife. My kids all do some other things in life with it, but the team here are my brothers and sisters. Your team is not everybody else, and you have to realize that everybody don't want to see you succeed. And some folks are sitting there waiting for you to fall. I mean, so if you keep them at a bay, because there's always going to be some nonsense going on, and it ain't got nothing to do with you personally. People think that when evil comes towards them or something bad comes towards them, that they did something wrong. No, it's just some jokers out there who, that's how they live. And they ain't got nothing to do with you. If you keep on doing the things you got to do and keep a positive attitude and keep going forward, they can't step to you.
That's right. And that's a key thing. That's so powerful, because it taught me a lot going into, I think I sent you a copy of The Rest of God, or I was telling everybody about the book, The Rest of God, certain books, and an instrumental time in our friendship and everything we were doing. The biggest transition was us connecting. Had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things, but there were times when we first started this. I think you had to tell me one day. You like, we first started, the first year we started it started as a book tour.
Yeah.
And I tell my story all the time. It started as a book tour. Shout out to book author Carl Weber. I got to make sure I'm tagging some of these people so they know we gave them some love, because out here you'll never be loved.
Madonna Mall.
Mondawmin Mall, Urban Knowledge Bookstore. Shout out to the crew there. Carl Weber, book author. He opened, I think, in New York. He's from New York, and then he opened one in Baltimore. So that was one of the places we had our book tour, and we had, Mr. Cliff down in Lexington Market. That's when we started.
Also, Cliff, right? Mr. Cliff. We did that on a Tuesday. You went to CVS and got a sign and bought some paper and a magic marker and put Yonder gonna do a book signing right here.
Hold on. You gotta go all the way back because we had lost touch. 2004. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go back. 2004. We had talked, I think, earlier that year or before, whatever, and we had lost touch. And 2004 was so instrumental because I did my first full out concert with my team and my crew at Bohager's right before they closed. Regina Bell, Bill Perry, doing all this stuff. And I realized that I had to stop the barbering. I walked away from it cold turkey. I was like, I got to go with my passion. And my brother and his wife moved from Louisiana to Baltimore. We get a place together in Woodlawn, Maryland. And of course, they ain't understand because like, oh, you got a barbershop. We're going to do this. We do that. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be cutting hair. He's like, you've been cutting hair. Not only were you cutting hair, you got 300 clients. What do you mean you're not going to do this anymore? And you don't know this, but you were the confirmation. Because I was like, I just feel like I need to pursue this entertainment thing. I just stopped doing the radio station. So I cut myself off from the things that seemingly would be just to focus in on, God, can I really do this? Can I really create? And, you take a tank. I'm doing landscaping. I'm like just in a slouch mode. And I end up finding a spot, moved away from the place that me, my brother, and my sister-in-law had in Woodlawn, and moved to a place in Gwynns Falls. And you had called, you said, and somehow you found me. Because I think
I called your brother's house and he gave me your new number.
Gave my new number. He said, man, what's up, man? I called you, bro. I said, man, I didn't talk to you, man. How's everything going? We talking. He's like, yeah, man, I'm doing, I got the book. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I got a publicist. I'm doing this. And I was like, okay, yeah. I said, so what you got planned? I said, how many books have you done a book signing? He's like, no. I said, you haven't done a book signing yet? I said, yeah. I said, you got books? Man, I got a trunk full of books.
I had 1,000 books in my Chevy Blazer.
I was like, wait, you have books. And this goes out to all the book authors out there, or people who want to be book authors. Holler at your boys. You can holler at me, and I'll put you in touch with Yonder, so he'll let you know too. We got a way to make sure you're doing your thing. I was like, what? He's like, no, I haven't. I'm thinking about it. She's helped me in doing press releases and stuff. I was like, which is all good. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing now? No, it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. This is how I know, because you weren't, I think you had already, something had happened. It's kind of like now. Something happened. There was some kind of layoff, or it was about to be a layoff, whatever it was, contract, whatever. But it was a Saturday. The reason I know is because it was popping down Lexington Market. I think it was a Saturday.
It sure was, yeah.
So, and I'm running around doing what I do, trying to pay rent, make sure I'm doing, doing the business stuff and doing my mobile barbering, whatever. And I was like, so where are you? He's like, oh, how long? Can you come down to Baltimore? Yeah. And he drove from La Plata or DC area.
I was in Waldorf then.
Waldorf.
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half to Baltimore. And I said, meet me at this address. Or meet me. No, I think we met at Mondawmin, and then we went down.
We met at Mondawmin.
Yeah, right up the street from Mondawmin Mall. We went down to Mr. Cliff's. And I don't know if he's still alive. I need to find out, because that's been, that's 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. So we go down to Mr. Cliff's. I talked to him. He's there, Yonder. I forgot who it was. Daryl with you? I forgot who was with you.
Anthony was with me that day. My buddy Anthony was with me that day. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we talking and we had a good time. I think we already had lunch or something. I'm like in rush mode, even though we're friendly. This is our first time meeting. And this guy, he in linen. I think he was in linen, looking the part. They were like, oh, we in Baltimore, man. They look around like, yeah, we're about to go down. I was like, yeah, we go in this little bookstore. And Mr. Cliff's like, oh, yeah, okay. You do a slip, 60-40, or, they get 60, I get 40, whatever it was. I was like, yeah, how you go with that? He was like, what's going on?
Right.
I took a table. He gave me a table. I took it out front.
Mm-hmm.
I went, I stepped right back. He said, what's going on? I said, you got your first book signed.
You sure did.
You sit out here and do your thing. And he was looking at me like, what? Now, mind you, he didn't know that I was running around and trying to get everything together for the rent, what have you. And he had a check in his pocket. for the amount I needed for my rent. And
Yeah,
he said,
I wrote out actually. I said, how you spell your name?
You said, how you spell your name? I said, what's that? He's like, this is check. He already
girl, that second when you gave me that, when you did that, what's name? That day that you gave me the first book signing, that girl got fired that second. I had to check in my pocket. Said, how you spell your name? I gave the check and had my pocket. That was her check.
And it was, we started, I think at that point, might have been using it before, but I think that's when we kind of got the pull the trigger mentality. So anybody me pull the trigger a lot. And sometimes I go so fast, but the reason I move so fast is because one of the reasons because of him as well as Yonder, because it's like ain't nothing to it but to do it. You need some of those people in your life to say, all right, so what we gonna do?
Exactly.
Yonder's thinking, right. So what we gonna do? We gonna do it? When is happening? When he calls me, he's talking about he can hear something like, so what's going on? When you get married? So I was like, wait, what's going on? Or anything that's going on, he's ahead of it. And I remember when we first started, we were doing the book signings. And we were at Mondawmin Mall. And after we did Mississippi, we doing Mondawmin Mall. And by this time, we getting to run. We got to run the stores and salons. Yeah. And we like, yeah, okay. And we're at Mondawmin Mall. We're out there. And a lady comes up. And I usually merge the two stories because it's two different incidents, but I break it down so that you understand where it came. This one lady came up and bought a book, and she was asking. She looked at me like, "Y'all two men," because we dress like this. We, in Baltimore, we got blazers on, slack. We doing business. Right. We never sit down during a book signing. So
when you leave there, if you ain't sold if your feet not hurting, you ain't sold no books.
That's right. Your feet not home. We got the methodology, and you like reading. That's the question. You like reading? What kind of books? You read erotic fiction? Because because if you don't read, if you just reading the Bible and something else, it's gonna mess with you a little bit. You right? And most women is like this readers. They'll read the first book was only 69 pages.
That's what people don't realize. That 69 pages.
And for women that read, they can read 69 pages in front of you. So what else you talking about? Mm-hmm, yeah. So this one lady got the book at the beginning of the book signing. I think our book signing that day was from 6 to 8 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's a Saturday, and it's booming. Mondawmin Mall, for those that don't know in Baltimore, it's why people probably looking at this like, Troy, you doing most of the talking. It's like, listen.
Right, we good. We understand we're going right.
Because we're teaching some folks too. So Mondawmin Mall, historically, if you can look this up, at one point in time, was the highest paid mall in the United States because of cash. The majority of people in Mondawmin Mall, the center of Baltimore City, and it was made by Routes Company. Same people did the Harbor Place and Ed Norton, actor Ed Norton's grandfather, developer, Columbia, Harbor Place, and Mondawmin Mall. It's one of the first indoor malls in the nation. Yeah. And it clocked money, so it was a lot of cash flowing around there, and people.
And it's in the city. You don't realize it's a mall in the middle of the city.
In the middle of the city, middle of Baltimore City. Mm-hmm. So we're in there, and this one lady buys a book early off, and she started asking the question, well, my husband comes home, and I go down on him, and he stops me. Is he cheating on me? And we were like, first off, we ain't never heard no junk like that. I'm a comedian. And I don't mind embarrass myself. And Yonder's laughing. He's like, man, this is what you need to do. If you got, and then I looked at it, I was like, well, were you always doing this? And she was like, what? I was like, when a man gets home from work, mentally, we not just physical. He could still be at work. So you just rolled in on him and his boss pretty much and went down on, we don't just let go things like a woman get home and she like, come on, let's go to the next thing. And I stepped back because this woman all of a sudden was talking to us and selling the books for us because she didn't leave. She stand there. I was thinking, I got some stories I want to tell, and Yonder's talking, and he's a quick person. He's talking, and I stepped back and looked at everything, and there's kids walking by and parents and all kinds of people. I was like, man, what would happen if we put this in a private setting?
Yes.
What happened if we gave people a chance to talk openly?
Openly, yeah.
About sex, love, and relationships, unfiltered, unhindered. What could happen? So I stepped up to him, like right there. I said, "Yo, how much you need to sell this book for? What you want to make off the book?" He said, "It cost me this much to make it. If I make $10, that's great." I said, "Okay." So, I can cook, and your brother say he can cook. Like,
Yeah.
can you cook? I was like, I can cook, and I got some relationships with some people at Mondama because I worked in a barbershop down the street for years. So I was like, I got some relationship with the Asian-owned food spot and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Talk to them. They had a little area in the back of the bookstore.
Yep.
They could sit about
Reverend Knowledge. Yes, they did.
12 people. And we started doing
originally. It got so big, right?
Yeah, we could do it. It started
one night we were there. We supposed to have been there for 6 to 8. We closed them all.
Yeah, we did.
We closed them all.
And they had to let us out. Security had to let us out. It's like 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We were there for 5 hours.
They were thirsty. They were thirsty for what we're talking about. Camaraderie. We're sitting there talking about the book. Actually drinking some what's the cheap champagne?
No, champagne. It was
Verdes Vermonte.
No, but we had the sangria from the liquor store. The big bottle of great fruity sangria, and we got the Asian chicken and the stuff. We got the stuff.
Right.
I was literally like, look, I got $30. What will you give me? And they would give me pans of food.
Yes, they would.
We got $50, and they would give us pans. So we had food, drinks, and book, and you can get in for $20.
Mm-hmm.
In 2004. And I tell people this, and a lot of them know, but anyway, we started that, and a year later, in that year, next thing you know, we're in front of 100 people. About a year later, we're in front of 1,200 people. Started with 12 people. And the next thing you know, we're in a ballroom.
In front of 1,200 people.
This is it.
For 4 hours.
4 hours. So.
For how many years straight? 7 years straight? We did Black Tiger 7 years straight, right?
Yeah.
We did Black Tiger 7 years straight. Yeah.
I think we ended up doing 9 years because we went back a couple years even after we was like, okay, we got to keep moving and do some other things. Yeah. Shout out to the Black Tigers Motorcycle Club. Their Pajama Jammy Jam weekend was really our training ground.
Yes, it was.
For conferences. So when you see us together and we're doing conferences and stuff and the things that are coming up, the love, life, and literature and all that stuff we got coming up, and Yonder Presents, it came from a Black motorcycle club base, 1,000 people over the weekend, and we sit there and talk flat-footed during the day, and nobody would stand in Ramona.
4 hours straight. They were there before we got there. They were sitting in the audience before we even got there. Staying there till we leave. 4 hours straight. How many adults sit down for 4 hours straight? 1,200 of them. Actually,
they got grain, alcohol. Shout out to my man Big Rob who passed away. They got flasks the size of old Western flasks with all kinds of fruity liquor, and they sitting there listening. You can hear a pin drop. Sometimes doing straight comedy. Sometimes you get a pin drop. Then it got to the point where Yonder would go in. I'm like, and we had to talk one day. I said, man, I kind of want you to interact more and stuff like that. He said, Troy, I'm watching you.
For those that don't know Troy's a comedian and funny as heck. We used to sit there some days. I mean, one day you did a event. I can't say what it was. We did an event there, and you asked every man, said, you want every man has tried this. Man, everybody stood up that day, man. That was hilarious. And then you tried to do it yourself on the floor, like some Jerry Lewis type stuff. You flipped, man. That was priceless. And then we're trying
to keep this as PG/R. The joke he's talking about, you have to DM me, and I'll tell you about it.
You had to be there.
Because this guy had, I never do drink alcohol. I drink occasionally. We drink, but we not slushes. And but I don't drink when I'm performing. And so it's like a spidey sense. I can hear every little thing people say. It could be people in back of the room, stuff like that. And Yonder walked through that crowd. It's just amazing. But before we get into that, because we could talk forever about that. I want to touch on some people that at this time you're watching this and you have a passion, dream. I don't care if it's starting a nonprofit, being an author, starting a fitness company, doing whatever. The biggest thing I can tell you is because you're looking at a man that has, how many books do you have out now?
Total of 9.
Total of 9 books. We've helped How many people have you helped publish books now?
Man, I can't even name them, Troy. Probably 100.
Yeah, so he is the key inspiration with people. And like I said, what I do is Taboo is a series. So when you get, I think maybe 2, 3, and 4, I think I have a short story in it as well. Chronicles of Young Land.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And actually, we forgot about this one too, man.
Oh, you got
my own book. This is your own book right here.
He also published my poetry book, 100 Words in 30 Nights. And he had it right there. He's like, I don't even have them. He has them.
Great, man. This is a great read, Troy. I did a blog on you the other day. This is a great read, bro. This is awesome, man. That's awesome.
You need a Yonder Harrison in your corner. You need a Yonder in your corner. It's in Yonder Harrison on Facebook if you don't know. But and on Instagram is Yonder_author. But and all this information will be in the links and the YouTube links and everything. But I wanna touch on this before we, as well, we're not gonna wrap up. But as we get into this next portion, you're working. You have a nice house in Wardolph. You had a house in Wardolph.
La Plata, yeah, La Plata.
And a house in La Plata.
I need nobody come looking for us.
Right. You were a 6-figure Negro. I'll say it that way for the people who don't know. 6 figures, no college degree, been in the industry, and you read Rick Warren's Purpose-Driven Life, cover to cover, while going to work, and he said, man, I'm gonna do this. And just started. Like you didn't, and mind you, as far as I know of the story, you didn't tell anybody. You just started.
I just started. I decided I wanted, and his Purpose-Driven Life, he said, what do you want to be? It's a 40-day thing. I decided that day I want to be an author. And I've been one since.
Now, mind you, he said something else. He didn't wait 40 days. How long did it take you to read the book?
I read the book in actually probably one day and wrote my first book in 40 days. I write a book in a weekend. I can write a book in a weekend now.
Right. So, and everybody might be like, I can't do that. Just get started. Get started. And he saw some of my writing. I was showing him some of my stuff. He said, Troy, you can write. You're a phenomenal writer. And he was like, when you gonna give me a story? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, next book coming. I want your story in my book. When you gonna get
your book? Your first story started in book 2, right here. You're in book 2. You're in book 3. You're in book 4. Actually, you're the front covers of all these books too.
That's another thing. If y'all look at the cover
of all 3 of these books, actually front.
Shout out to Tia the Traveler. We got some people. Shout out to Tia and Muhammad. My man Muhammad in Baltimore. You talking about a bad photographer? Woo! We going there for a photo shoot. He just had a wall and a light.
This one right here was 5, Troy. That was 5. That was 5 right there. That was 5 right there. There's y'all right there. There's y'all on that one too. Yeah. You covered most of the books, man.
But when I tell people that all you need is a dream and then build your team. Your dream, then your team. Your dream and action. We talk about a lot of times, people talk about the formula for success when preparation meets opportunity. I think it's when preparation plus opportunity plus action. Yonder is, what's your main saying? What's your main saying? Main event. You told me something one day when I was.
Right. You're the main event. You're the main attraction.
When people come to you,
that's the main event, the main attraction. That's what we are. If this what you're doing, you have to make yourself somewhere along the line the main event, the main attraction. Stop putting yourself behind everybody else. You the main event, the main attraction. They come to see you, so give them what they need.
And so you're on a commuter bus. You're reading Rick Warren. You said, I'm gonna be an author. And you start. You didn't have a publicist. You didn't have an idea how the cover would look.
Nothing.
You just said, let me start writing.
Yep.
And I think by the time we first talked, see, this is something people can call it the universe, stuff like that. Well, I was telling a friend of mine last night, I was like, write it down and make it plain so that he that sees it can run with it. It says this is a biblical scripture. Mm-hmm. He that sees it, Habakkuk. I don't know this exact scripture. It wasn't in Habakkuk. Look it up. Google it. Write it down and make it plain so that he that sees it can run with it. Another translation of that is that a herald or a reporter or someone who can take it farther than you.
Yes.
But a lot of us haven't written it down. So you read this book, you start writing. Yes. And 40 days later, you have a book. But in the midst of you writing, you started getting your team.
Yes. And the thing about this too, I tell folks too, oh, I got rejection letters. That's one of our next books that's come out, How to Publish a Book. I got rejection letters. I was trying to send my stuff to the big publishers and all that. I got rejection letters. But once I started going out and doing this myself, I realized we didn't need that team. I had the team I needed, which is you. And we went out there and did our own thing. And by doing stuff, we've done, think about it, we've done big book signings from Howard University to Black Tigers. We've done it all. I mean, really, we made the team happen. And people don't understand the grind of this too. We are our own street team. Hey, we was at Howard University putting in flyers in people's cars. We were our own street team. People don't realize this. Well, I can't do that. You can't do what? I did flyers everywhere. I mean, come on. You can ask flyers, commuter bus stop. We were our own street team, and we still our own street team. I gave out flyers. I gave out cars. We did everything for everywhere. Here you go. Okay. You back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. So, yeah, like I said, but people don't realize that doing everything ourselves along the way, and actually by doing everything ourselves along the way, it lets you know how to do this stuff. Like I said, you with your emails. People don't realize we're on Facebook and MySpace now. Your email list was gold, bro. I mean, no, straight flat. We can email people. I mean, I remember the event we did with what's his name? Troy. We was at somebody's coffee house.
It was shout out to Jackie Cummings of Notre Maison Coffee House.
Vince opened for us one night. Come on,
Vince.
He opened for us
was a player and singer with Sting.
He opened for us one night.
I think he was in town. I don't know what it was. He was in town. Yeah. Something happened.
Notre Maison.
But I was in the midst of this, mind you. I met Yonder when I started my entertainment company, and I had nothing. I had stopped everything cold turkey. So off of the back of what we were doing, it gave me the confidence. Mind you, this is just two people. Everybody around us, but everything else was coming into play because I had one partner, one friend who believed in me, believed in himself, and we believed in each other.
Yes.
And it became when Black Tigers, shout out to my man Neville, when they reached out to us, it was because Neville had heard what we were doing. He said, man, we need something during the day that's going to keep people there. I heard about your Taboo Talk tour. I was like, really? Who told you? It don't matter who told me. But I heard.
Look, Troy, we're little then, right?
Right. And we felt little. We were like doing our thing, 100 people, 200 people, 80 people. And they gave us a small room that held supposed to hold 50 people. When we got started, the room was standing room only.
Yes.
And we didn't know what was going outside. We just did what we did. And the core of this, the method behind the madness, because people was like, because mind you, at this time, I'm active at my church. Yonder's active at his church.
Yeah, exactly.
Ping me on this newsletter talking about sex, love, and relationships. And they were like, what is going on? What are you doing? And I had a gospel radio show. I left that and was doing all this stuff. But the method behind the madness is that our calling was to help men and women communicate better in love. And that was the core of it. This woman who came to this book signing and was looking at us asked us a serious question. Hey, my man got home from work. I wanted to celebrate, serve my man, and I go down and greet him like I'm a professional porn star. And he stops me. Is he cheating on me? So this started something that was a book became our message in our ministry to help people communicate better and keep people together. The reason I talk about how you do with family and how that affected me is because I learned something, a key tool that when it's time for me to get married, I know will help me stay together. When you get home, if your loved ones are there, leave the world outside and focus on. This is a key time that message 16 years, 17 years later of us knowing each other, now that message resonates bigger than anything. Because you got some people that's ready to throw in the towel because they've been quarantined with the person they said they like to spend the rest of their life with.
Exactly. And that's sad. But like you said, that is so sad because if you actually, what's so crazy is you actually talk to your mate. Like I said, you'll realize how much they really can help you and you can really help them. Along with, like I said, what we're doing right here, I'm not an electronic person. I mean, I know how to do a couple of things, but having a partner that knows all this stuff and can help me along the way, and that helps the grind. Like I said, there's certain things I can grind on. I can talk to anybody in America. You need somebody who can handle your background and don't lose their stuff. And they're background people, and they're going to take care of everything, and we're going to do this together. If you don't have, we're too busy fighting each other on different nonsense. Everybody wants to be the front. I have a partner who makes sure I'm right at all times and takes care of my back. If you don't have somebody who has your back, what difference does it make if y'all both have each other front? Somebody going to die and somebody get nobody back. I mean, right. You think all this, how many hours people are spending together? If they were spending together, getting to know each other better, they could all be millionaires when we all leave out of this. I mean, because there's so many things that we all do together that we all could do to help each other. And I'm realizing my own life too. I mean, really, I have a partner that can do so many things that I have no idea about doing. And I can do some things for her. So I'm the mouthpiece. She's the backside of it. And we can all talk about doing so many things together with this. I mean, really, how many mates do the front side of it and their husbands can do the backside of it or vice versa? If we all put this together and think about everything we're doing along the way, not just with COVID, but when this is over, don't forget that that's the person who you committed to right there. Do right by him.
Right. And what, that's key. What would you say to people, and this is just on a relationship tip, some people may not, we're like, we don't have a separate business. We both have corporate jobs. We're struggling. We're going through. You were laid off at a time when the book tour kicked off. I mean, got hot. You weren't working. So all of a sudden you had a household, and if I'm not mistaken, you were the breadwinner at that time.
Yeah, actually I was. We both were working, but I made more than her at that time, and I had a couple of properties at that time too. I had a rental house in DC that he wasn't paying the rent in. I had to move out of a house and build a new house, and
you were still playing more.
Look, so actually this first book right here paid. Let me see, the mortgage for the rental property, the house I hadn't sold yet, the new house, and then I had promised you that if you work with me, I will pay you. I will pay your rent. So this first book paid everybody's rent. Because you remember, I still have the Franklin planner for this. There's only 52 weeks in a year. We did 72 stops that year. There's only 52 weeks in a year. We did 72. We went to 72 places in 1 year to sell his book.
That was the thing I meant to mention. 1 year, after we did that first year, he said, man, I got to take some time with my family. Because I think Lil Rodney was just born. How old is Lil Rodney now?
He was just born, yeah, because matter of fact, he's 16.
There you go.
He's 16 years old. He was just born,
yeah. At the time, his son, his second child, was born.
He was only a few months old. Yep, he was only a few months old when I put the first book out.
And we got started. And the next time, mind you, because your business can be a strain on. I went through it with authors before. I went through it. Your business can put a strain. You get successful in business. Some people think if I'm successful in business, and it's weird. I was talking to Rhonda Swan about this. Some people think it'll work well. Once this business launches off, my relationship will be better. Once I get more money, my relationship will be better.
No.
Once I have more things in order, our relationship will be better. My man Biggie said, more money, more problems. And because with more money usually comes more responsibility. And what has happened that we saw before COVID and quarantine like that, a lot of people didn't have time to rest. A lot of people didn't have time for their family. So all of a sudden you get a time where everything's like, stop, rest, be with your family, stay home. Now you got the big TV at home, you got books, you got video games, you got all this stuff. And you realize the stuff you go to ain't keeping you no more. And now you got to talk.
Right.
now you got
right.
Now you got to actually interact with your family. But because you didn't put the tools in place. So the biggest thing out of this, there's a couple points to pull. The fact that you started this thing from being inspired. You were on to work. You were inspired. You said, "Let me start this. It's on my heart to start. Let me do it." And as you're doing it and going along this process, God blesses you with the people to help carry it to the next level. This is one person. This one person connects with another person. And that tour that he said paid my rent, his rent, this, that, another. We turned it into a radio show. We turned it into live shows and productions. We started doing concerts, events, all of this on the back of this. And it brought me, it first took me to, you and Keno came with me to the meeting that took me to Tampa to do a project. Yeah. And I was just, Alicia Fidd, the sister who did the poetry at the concert in Tampa. She's a lawyer. And we were just talking about some of the things she did. And that gave me the gusto to say, okay, looking at my planner, it was time to move to California.
Yes.
And it already had the format for the Taboo Talk show. You know what I'm saying? So all that came from one person saying, I need to write my book. But what would you say to folks before because like I said, we can talk for hours.
Right.
But I know got a boogie too. So what would you say to folks right now? Because we were talking about this. We know divorce rates are about to skyrocket. Divorce law is about to be in business for a whole lot. We hope that this book series, you go to yonderpresents.com, will help you. It's erotic fiction. It's a fun read for you and your mate. Something that you can have fun, try different things, get interactive. Most of all, start talking to one another and really confiding in your mate more than pulling away. What would you say to the people right now at this time of how to keep it together, not just in the bedroom, but in life? Because yours goes way beyond the bedroom.
The thing about it, Troy, is have fun. I mean, really, I think about how my morning started this morning. We went on a walk today. It was a fun walk. I mean, we had breakfast today. Kids still up there asleep. We had breakfast today. We talked. We laughed. I'm doing this. We set this up today. It's just being open with each other. I mean, we got flaws. Of course, we all got flaws. And some days you think you just want to run out of here. Actually, I haven't had those days. I've been like, okay, hey, it's been fun. I mean, and then I realized how much I really don't know about everything. I mean, even me and my daughter talk, and she said, "You didn't know I like that." I was like, "Hey, I didn't know." You only know a person for what you want to know for my time. If you start asking them different stuff, they'll give you different answers. So get to know each other. And actually, I think I can't say I thank God for this. What's name? Because I don't think He did this nonsense. But I do thank God for having this time with these kids and with my wife at this time, because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Who knows what happens next year? Who knows when everybody's last day is going to be? If you realize that I had a ball doing this COVID nonsense, we had a ball. We got to know each other. I got to love each other. I mean, we watched church on Sunday mornings on the iPod all together. I'm still tired and send some money off the other day. You just got to keep on going and find something that goes into your mind that you can do something outside of here. It's so much more to life than just nonsense. I mean, yeah, we all at this place right now, and my money ain't no better than nobody's money right now. Everybody going through the struggle, but that says you save some more money. Do something different. Do something different with your life. I mean, there's so many things you do. Whatever you do, what man you do, from going this production side of it to write a book, do something out of this that will get you to the next place in life. Whatever the next place in life is. Some people just want peace. Some people want money. Some people want a different job. Some people want to go to school. Decide that from this day on that you're going to do something that's going to get you to the next place you want to be. It's not the next level, it's just the next place you want to be. Some people have already been to the mountaintop. They just need something smooth to smooth them out with. Do that. That's all.
And what more can it be said? Nothing else to say.
Hey, but something else I need to say, because
okay.
I do have erotic out. I have erotic books out, but I also write murder mysteries too. So if erotic's not their thing, I got the incubus out. I got the succubus out. I have Lost. What is it? Lost Turned Out Upside Down. And they're murder mysteries and everything. So if erotic's not your thing, okay, some good murder, some good mystery here, and they're good. And they are all cliffhangers. I like to write cliffhangers because I want you to keep coming back for more. And actually, as you know, if you haven't read the erotic series are all cliffhangers. Book 1 makes you go to book 2. Book 2 makes you go to book 3. Book 3 makes you go to book 4. Book 4 makes you go to book 5. But actually, you can read all of them by themselves, and they'll still be great books. And Troy has stories in book 2, book 3, book 4, and book 5. And they're great stories. He has this thing
I was like, book 5? Oh, the college. College.
Man, that stripper thing. Oh, man, and how people don't even understand. She had a dog that she talked. What was it?
No, don't tell her. You got to get the book. Really great. Yonder helped me launch the book. It's going to be, I'm literally in talks now with Mike Birkenbein, the guy that does the feature film Financial Plan, at the beginning of the thing. Because a lot of people, there's so much tied in, but I want people to get this. All of this started because this man decided to do what was on his heart. Me too, but if he hadn't decided to do what was on his heart, it might be in another light, but I know this is what brought us to this. This is why I do Meet the. It just took me to the next level, because you have to have someone that believes in you. But a person that really believes in you probably has to believe in themselves first. And that was the key thing with Yonder. Yonder is, like I say, he's my best friend, because we know everything about it. We talk about everything. Outside of him and his wife know more about each other. But other than that,
you're right. Hey, we got a shout out Ty Flood too.
Ty Flood, yes, because Ty Flood was the one that brought us on her show.
Radio. That's who gave us radio first. Ty gave us radio first, and we've been friends since that day.
Well, Ty gave us internet radio, because that was the thing. We didn't even know that was at that level. Ty and what was the brother who
Cleveland Spears.
Cleveland, right. So the people who started IM4 radio, right?
Yeah, and thank you for Tia for introducing me to Ty.
Tia, travel agent Tia. That's the cohort on the book cover. And there's a lot of people like I said, a lot of people have helped this thing move forward and continue to help. But you yourself, man, let everybody know how to get in touch with you before we get out of here.
The website is yonderpresents.com, and you can hit me up anytime. That's my email address that comes directly to me, and I'll actually respond back to you. I'm on Facebook under Yonder Harrison. Under Instagram, I'm Yonder_author. And anytime, really, and I'll give you insight on how to publish a book. And I got rejected a whole lot of times. Really, I have my rejection letters. It's funny because after getting rejected and then going on tour, okay, y'all told me no yesterday, and Troy told me yesterday. We went on tour. The minute I got rejected now. Troy went on tour. So how I'm rejected? I'm on tour. I'm doing my thing. So it's been a great ride. A great ride. I just plan to go further and further. When I make these books into movies or miniseries or whatever we're going to do next in Hollywood. Oh, and shout out to Troy and Zoe in Hollywood. He's actually in Hollywood, y'all. Like you said, you followed your dream. I remember when we sent you up there. You moved in with somebody from MySpace.
Look, shout out to we got shout outs. Shout out to Colin. I ran into Colin. Colin started his own MMA. Colin Crondell, he does his own MMA broadcast. He's always loved mixed martial arts. He loved mixed martial arts when I was like, okay, I got it. The guy's fighting.
Mr. Man, too. What's his name? Mr. Man.
Mr. Man Frisbee, the book author, another book author, amazing book author. Yeah, so shout out to him. He's back in Philadelphia now. So it's been a lot of people on. We could spend another hour just thanking everybody. Some are here and some have passed on. And that in and of itself is what life, like I said, we're not promised tomorrow. What can you do today to make it better? And for all those couples that are going through and want to find ways to keep it together, get in touch with us. Get in touch with Yonder. Yonder Harrison on Facebook. Yonder_author on Instagram. Yonderpresents.com. Go there now and pick up some books. You will not be sad. But also send them a message. I think it's yondertaboo@gmail.com.
Yep.
and hit them up and check out our sponsors below. We got some amazing sponsors, jewelry sponsor, everybody who's sponsored this broadcast. And it's been a while, but like I said, this is a short thing for us. When you get a chance to come see us live, when all this stuff break out and we come live, it will bless your soul. Our whole focus is to help men and women communicate better in love, not just your mate, but everybody. So we just hit an hour.
Real fun thing. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry. You're gonna have a good time, and you're gonna learn some stuff. I mean, really, it's not. We've gotten so stuck up with society that we are scared to talk about stuff. We talk about everything. Troy do all sorts of imitations. One of the events we did was we did a tattoo contest. How many tattoos you got? I mean, really, it's a different aspect of comedy, relationship talking, and just a whole fun thing all at one time. Taboo Talk Live. I mean, it's just fun. And it'll bless your heart and you'll tell everybody, hey, this was some great stuff we did right here. So shout out to you, Troy, for always sticking with me, man. You always push me and I appreciate it, man. I mean, really, some days I don't want to take your call because I know you can push me. You push me, really, but you need a Troy in your life. You need somebody to say, all right, so what we doing now? You've been sitting down about 25 days. What you gonna do now? And I hate some days. I be like, oh, Troy, what do you want to do now? But actually, I need that. You need a Troy in your life.
Hey,
your favorite line is push trigger. You need a Troy in your life. You need somebody. I run for the phone sometimes. Who called him, Troy? Oh, he gonna make me do something. We gotta do something. He gonna make me come out. And really, each time I call myself return, you pull me back out.
Yeah, because how can you retire from something, especially at times like this where we realize, I would be talking to him. He said, yeah, man, the job lays off. I'm taking care of this and taking care of that. And I said, dude, you got 9 books and millions of people who haven't read them yet. So we're excited about what everything has. But if you see me and see my grind, and a lot of people ask how you keep going, this, that, and other, because of people like this behind me and people like this next to me and people like this in my ear. It's nothing like hearing a voicemail from Yonder that says, hey, man, I'm just letting you know that you the joint. You are the shit. Ain't nobody bad as you. The main event, main attraction. Because he's been with me through people offering me TV projects and movie and all this stuff. We became executive producers of our first movie together.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing. So it's been an hour. Like I said, we could talk for 2. Thank you, brother.
DC Bookman. Book, man. DC man. People don't even understand that, and people like let me choose a shout out. Like people like Treasure Blue will tell you.
Malika.
Malika. If you come to DC, you have to go to DC Bookman. Back in the day, that was it. He was Amazon. If you went to DC, he gave you hood credibility. He had a book stand everywhere in DC, and if he let you sit down at his table, that meant he respected your grind, and he gave you hood credibility right there. DC Bookman, Treasure Blue. Malika's hair shows. Oh my God.
Reboot book.
Man, what's her name? Cindy Beauty Salon. Cindy Diva by Cindy's Beauty Salon.
Cindy has her own amazing hair products now.
Yeah.
I got to bring her on the show as well.
It's folks like that help us along the way. Like I said, let us do book signings at their shops. Malika, thank you, Malika. Dreads and Heads, Baltimore, y'all. Put her up.
I'm thankful because a lot of my new partners and people that are hearing me that I'm talking to them about doing certain things, they probably look at me like, oh, here go Troy again. But I'm telling you, it's because this man called me and said, whatever you didn't finish with that author, do with me. And we're still going. Almost 20 years later, we built a friendship, a relationship. But you need it. All it takes is you having your idea. God will put the other people around you to move forward. And
Troy, for folks who come after me, when he say street team, do it. Put out your own flyers. Do everything. Send them emails out 100 at a time. The biggest thing about being in this artistry that we're in, that if you start doing this and see this, people actually respect you more. One, you can see pictures of me we did Howard University one year. We did at 5 o'clock one morning. Midnight that night, we was out there on Howard's campus putting out flyers. It's midnight. We got to be back here to set 5 o'clock the next morning. Midnight, we at Howard campus putting out flyers. So people come see us 5 o'clock the next morning.
And that next night, we go and do the radio show.
Radio show, yes.
We didn't even know if the radio show, when we doing the internet radio show, we didn't even know it was on. We had, shout out to my cousin Alex Johnson, because he had a sidekick, and the sidekick had the Wi-Fi. I said, tune into this. Are you on, can you hear us? He's like, yo, you on the radio? I said, yeah, but we don't know.
Hey, Troy.
Daryl Mooney, the Mooney twins.
He was on, what's his name? He wrestler now. He was
David Tonga.
David Tonga.
I'm going to tag David Tonga. I got to make sure I'm tagging a bunch of people. David Tonga.
He was on our first show. Matter of fact, no, we left Howard that night and he came to the show with us.
He's a wrestler now. He's a WWE wrestler.
He was on I Love New York.
He was called Punk then.
His name was Punk then. Yes, David Tonga.
We done. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride. We hadn't even gotten to the concerts we've done and the people with, the shot Raheem Devon and
was it Cameo and
Cameo Morris Day at the Time.
Morris Day at the Time, Raheem Devon, Genuine.
And all the people, Daryl Morrison, all the people that came through and really enhanced this job. A lot of
Katina, you can name authors, Ty Flood, Tyrena Tober, you name them. We're gonna forget. Baltimore love. I love Baltimore. Baltimore gave me so much love. Baltimore is more than the wire. Baltimore is actually a city that reads for real.
Kurt Smoke said that a long time ago, and we thought it was funny. Baltimore is the city that reads. Baltimore is, if you're in Baltimore and you're a book author and you ain't moving books, holla at me, because something wrong. Baltimore, thousands of books just in Baltimore, and then launched off. I mean, I love my hometown. Because it gives you the grit to go forward.
Ellie Levine, Troy.
Oh, Ellie Levine is my music director for life. Ellie Levine, anytime I had to kick off Ron and Bob Passad at 347, give me the opportunity to manage and produce live shows and turn a bar. We turned the bar into the #1 jazz club in Baltimore.
Yes.
And all of this came off the back of, like all of this. The comedy show, Wednesday Night Live, all of this came off the back of just the opportunity. One opportunity. One person said, I'm going to go forward, and said, let's keep going. And we just kept pushing each other. Ryan Green?
Ryan Green.
Yeah. Ryan Green. We go back to high school. We're gonna keep shouting you out. So if we don't shout you out, just comment below and we'll give you a shout out. This part one of the interview with Yonder, but I had to sadly this is episode 42.
Like they do the Jordan series. We could do a 10-week series on this, Troy. We still wouldn't have everything we need to talk about.
No. But
Darren Morrison, good dude. All the pastors that helped us along the way and prayed for us. I mean, there were many pastors and folks like that, first ladies who we know personally. So that's always a good thing. Yeah.
So you got to come see us live. Go to yonderpresents.com. Get your books. Hit them up at yondertaboo@gmail. Yonder_author on Instagram. Yonder Harrison on Facebook. Check them out. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Get a kiss for me.
Yes. I'll see her tomorrow or day after, but I'll make sure we hit up, and once we get a chance, we'll all be together soon. God willing, we'll all be together soon.
Yes.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.